welcome to a new episode of Generic Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, the Goose, and with me, as always, is Bossa Nova Jones.
Bossa Nova. I mean, it would be a very funny opening to say, welcome to an old episode of...
Yeah. I was trying something fresh.
No, it's fine.
So sue me.
No, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it would be funny as hell to say welcome to an old...
So, in the April episode, we'll just do it for a April Fool's joke?
Right.
All right. Where are we going to start? How about the amazing end of that Commanders-Bears game that I know that I had a lot. There were a lot of great moments, like seeing the Patriots win, and a couple other things. Like everything was coming down to the wire on some of those morning games, like the Ravens and the Browns. But I just was like, like it was such a great weekend. And then we had what would you like to call it? The Hail Maryland or the Washington walk-off?
Oh, either one's fine with me.
Okay, well, I liked both. I originally liked the Washington walk-off, but then the Hail Maryland just kind of,
I think people saying it made it sound nicer.
Right, just it rolled off the tongue easily. So with that, 18-15. Let's just be honest. I don't know. I guess where to begin is that Caleb Williams didn't play great until maybe the end of the third quarter and most of the fourth. I don't even know how many yards he had.
He went 10 for 24 for 131 yards.
And I think he, before the fourth quarter, he was like 80, 60, something. Like, he was pretty low until the fourth quarter. And no stats, the box score, the stats don't explain the whole story. And yeah, they had
the whole story. The whole story is that he looked pretty bad at the end there when he I think he threw for 4 incompletions or something.
Yeah, I mean,
in a row.
When you only throw 10 completions, you look pretty bad. And we'll talk about only throwing for 10 incompletions and stuff a little bit later with another quarterback. But man, this is where it's like, as a Bears fan, this is what I get. This is why I feel bad for a Bears fan, as well as it's like the Bears don't get any sympathy from me about how with coaching, because you have a couple good running backs. Why are you doing the refrigerators Super Bowl play? Why are you giving it to a lineman to run it in, and then he fumbles and you lose points? And I mean, eventually they get the ball back and score and take the lead, but I don't think the Bears really played great. Even if the Bears had won, Jaden Daniels played way better than, even if you get rid of that Hail Mary, he still had double the yards.
Yeah.
Before that play. So then he ended up with 300 something.
Mm-hmm.
So Jaden Daniels, let's be. That Hail Mary at the end, that was fantastic because of his escapability, just being able to run.
Well, them not having enough, them putting too many people back there and not running 5 people, rushing 5 like the Lions did, who sacked Sam Darnold to stop a Hail Mary.
Right. Well, it was the quarterback spot. He just was kind of am I or aren't I? And then I think they could have had one other person in the back, but it also doesn't help when Tyreek Stevenson is gloating and calling,
not paying attention
to
the
play, trying to I guess diss the fans or whatever, just being
mock them for brag to them.
Yes, brag is the word I was looking for, that they had already won, that they won the game. So and then he's not in position. He is the one that tips the ball instead of tips it up instead of swatting it down, and nobody is in the back covering covering Noah Brown, so he just catches it and wins the game in with no time left on the clock. Like that was, I know they play. I know they say we play 60 minutes. It's like, just remember. I mean, Tyreek Stevenson. I don't know if he played. He played 59 minutes and 59 seconds for all it's worth, or 58 seconds. Because like that game, yeah, that was like a 60-minute and 15-second game. So like let's remember not to, say it's like it's not a full 60-minute. It's not a 60-minute game. It's a I guess in basketball terms until like the buzzer rings, whistle blows. Like we play until the end.
You play till you play till there's no playing left to do, basically.
Yep.
It doesn't matter unless unless you have like a 2-score or a multiple score lead.
Right. And
you can start celebrating.
Right. I'd even say 3, especially in the NFL.
Right, that you basically a 3-score lead that you can't like magically lose because of an onside kick.
Mm-hmm. Now I gotta ask, who is it? Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator?
That sounds right. Of who?
For the Bears.
No, that was the last one.
Oh, that was the last one. He's with the Raiders, so it's Shane Waldron.
Shane Waldron.
Okay, so that's what I just wanted to make sure, because I'm like there is that, for as bad as the play calling was pretty bad when you had like your bye week. I don't even know how you're supposed to. You want to call a better game and plan better when you have like basically 2 weeks to work on that.
I don't know what I mean. As a fan of a team that also lost after their bye week, I just don't know what it is with some teams.
We can talk about them in a moment, since we're with bye week stuff, but
just like how. I mean, I guess I don't know. What did they not practice during the bye week, or like,
I don't know.
Did they not lock in? I mean,
yeah. Well,
they didn't play that. I mean, they didn't play that great. I mean, I understand, like how you said, like it was questionable doing the offensive lineman running play. Like you just do when you do stuff like that, just do it when they're like not expecting it, like or you're a little further back, so they have a little more room to run. But still, I think Eberflus is just part of the problem when, as we said, everything on during the Hail Mary play. And I don't know if he's going to survive the season if they have more problems.
I don't know where when they would fire him. I guess do they have a Thursday night game coming up? Because I guess that would probably be it. I mean, you don't want to do it on too short of a week, like going into a Thursday game. But there's got to be major head scratching calls and stuff like they did.
Yeah, I can see that. If they lose a ton of games between now and their Thursday night game.
When's their Thursday night game?
I believe it's Thanksgiving.
Oh, do they play like the Lions?
They do play the Lions.
Well, that might happen the day after. We'll see. And it's not too unbelievable for a coach to get fired after a holiday, because I remember a certain head coach who got fired after a disastrous Christmas game where Patrick Starr was making fun of us.
Painful years for us. Painful years.
Now, speaking of, since you brought it up, we might as well talk about the other one of the other teams on the bye week with your Dolphins. And I just want to say that even though you lost, what was your score again?
Well, I mean, we were on the bye week too. We were on the bye week 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you were? Okay. So, you know what?
Yeah, we lost to the Colts. That's when I was saying, even though we had 2 weeks to prepare for them.
Right. Well, there a lot of head scratching stuff going on with the Colts, which we'll lead into afterwards. We'll talk about your game, because I mean your game lost 28-27, and I forgot. Like honestly, I blinked out that Colts game because it was just not a great game. Like, well, even though you lost this one, it was a better showing.
Well, there's a weird thing talking about teams that had 2 weeks to prepare, and it's like, and both of us lose, except for in the Bears Commanders game, Caleb threw 10 for 24 and lost the game, and the Dolphins magically lose to a quarterback quarterback that went 10 for 24.
Well, good. I'm glad. See, I'm glad you remember that because I was gonna say I definitely remember Anthony Richardson throwing it like 10 times, and I forget if that was this week, last week, or was it both?
Might have been both. Now back to the Dolphins. Tua's return definitely helped the offense play better. The defense forgot to do its job. I know we had some injuries, like I think Cater Coe and Storm Duck didn't play.
Javon Holland got hurt,
and Zach Sealer wasn't playing. So as soon as we got healthy on offense, we got unhealthy on defense. If we can just stay healthy on both sides of the ball and get the coaching better, which the coaching has been looking better too, the play calling. Well, we can get everything better, we can turn this ship around.
Well, when you lost like what 28-27 on a game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, the big part of it was the defense. I mean, them getting it to Marvin Harrison Jr. was
too many times.
Great for them because and I mean, Kyler went for 300 yards, 26 completions out of 36, 2 touchdowns, and Marvin Harrison Jr. He didn't even have. The worst thing is, I mean, that's why you said about your defense. He didn't even have the best game. He got a touchdown, but like Trey McBride had 9 receptions for 124, and Harrison Jr. had 6 for 111. So like 2 fantastic games from both players, and that's what killed you.
The saddest part is that we normally couldn't stop the run. We finally stopped the run. In a game. We forgot how to stop the pass. So if we can get firing on all cylinders, like we're just like a good team that's been injured and had some questionable head coaching. But I think there's nothing that I think that we're going to turn it around. I don't know. I really doubt it's this week, but I think we're not going to be as I don't know if we'll make the playoffs, but I don't think we'll be as bad as it looks like right now.
We'll see what happens. I mean,
we like I said, we might get to it might be possible to get to a winning season, but I don't know if it'll be enough to get to the playoffs.
This season's kind of crazy, so like it's not necessarily looking like they can't do it. So
right, like
a 9-win team might have a possibility.
Right, like 9 wins, might be doable. We might get more. We just have to play better. Like Tua, this offense works with Tua. Like, dear Lord, like the offense was good. It was fantastic to watch. I'm like, this is Dolphins football. Like this is what I'm used to. Like, dear Lord, like it was so nice to see the quick throws and stuff. I know we didn't score all the time, even score touchdowns, and I know we still have some troubles on offense, and we just need to get back into the groove of things and get better.
Right. Well, and I just want to say, like, I think that there's hope to get better in all due respect, but maybe the Cardinals are actually doing what I said, and they're being that sneaky, frisky, kind of getting a little tough, like the Lions, the 2022 Lions, and maybe they're sneaking their way into a playoff spot possibly. That division is wide open.
They're magically scrappy right now.
Yes, scrappy was the word I forgot.
They are magically scrappy. No, not magically scrappy. They are scrappy and magically in first place.
Well, when you have 2 division wins,
I don't know who will end up winning that division, but if some of the other teams look good, and we don't know what we'll go into those games when we go into the games. The Cardinals do look good. I don't know if they're going to have. Well, they might have an easy time. They might have another easy time this week, but I don't know if they're going to have as much of a time like they did against us. Without we couldn't stop Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, no,
this next coming week might be the next easy time they have. They play the Bears.
I mean, I'm not going to throw anything against the Bears defense because they were holding the Commanders to field goals, but let's just I think that there was it was just a good game, and they're getting God, I forgot the word. What did you say?
Scrappy, like Scrappy Doo. How it's like.
I didn't hate Scrappy, but sometimes I just forget about Scrappy Doo. But that's neither here nor there. So, but I just wanted to give some respect to the Cardinals because I think that they're scrappy enough to keep going. I forget if I had them on my predictions that we did here, but they were a team I was flirting with that may have been about the 8th or 9th seed. So they were on my bubble.
They were my 7th seed, and they might be higher, but like any of the NFC, but it's like this, but like it's looking like a better prediction now. More of my predictions aren't looking as ass as they looked before.
Right?
I know I picked the Colts and some other teams that like, oh no, they looked bad in the beginning. Now they're like, oh no, they're not as bad.
My Buccaneers take might go to the wayside because of the injuries to Godwin and Mike Evans. Yeah. But Mike Evans at least is going to come back. So
right. But to get back on like with the like, yeah. So the Cardinals, I think, were a good team, and I take nothing away from them. I was very dejected. Like they didn't even need a kick. Like they haven't even kicked the field goal yet, and I knew that we lost because they got so close. And it's like
it's like a momentum thing. You kind of could feel the
no. They were like 30 to there was like 20. They were like on the 20-yard line.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying like you could kind of feel like the momentum somewhere when we were watching, and I was seeing the highlights. Like there was just like highlight from Marvin Harrison Jr. Highlight, I think did Trey McBride like jump the player, or was that this week? Or
I forget.
Trey McBride just making some plays here and there. Same thing with Marvin Harrison Jr.
I try to forget when the other teams beat me, so I'm just trying. So
that's fair. Yeah. Anyways,
but getting on to the.
I was gonna say I'm good with this. I had some other thoughts we could talk about while we're.
I just feel like the Dolphins just need to I feel like Jalen Wright needs to be used more. He in previous games he looked good, but that's about it. And I just wanted to add. I know I got like upset. I think at the Dolphins fans last week. I think it was.
Yes.
I just really want to say that there are some good Dolphins fans out there that deserve better. Ones that upset me, not as much. But also, I think you're absolutely crazy if you think Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel are going anywhere. They're based on Steve Ross's history with coaches and general managers.
Well, with the history, history aside, that's what I've said this whole time. So,
and honestly, like I said, even with all the mistakes, Chris Greer has been the best general manager in years, which is not the best. Which isn't the best news. It just means we've had shitty general managers.
That happens. So
we're not the only ones, and we're not the worst. And even though we're 2-5, we're not the worst team. We are not the worst team. And there's a whole host of them.
Right.
That should complete, and I will be okay with completing the Dolphins talk there.
So we have a couple other questions. I'll leave it. I'll leave it up to you, Bossa Nova. Choose your own adventure. Do you want to continue with the AFC East or the NFC West?
I guess we can continue with the shit show of the.
I already know where we're going then. So. I mean, when you say shit show and only one team has a winning record, the other teams, the other division is basically
the tie division.
All of them are basically 4 losses, and the only one that had I think the Rams are the only one that had a bye, so they only have 3 wins, and anybody can win that division. I know where we're going. So
the AFC least.
Right, with the Jets at the bottom.
Yes, the only one. Yes, but respect the Buffalo. They look good.
Right, we'll talk about Buffalo in a second because the Patriots beat the Jets.
Bills, and then it's like the Bills and then the AFC least. The Bills and the rest.
Yeah, the rest. The Patriots beat the Jets 25-22. Drake May got hurt. Jacoby Brissett came in. I just gotta say, like, I know some players didn't like the message, and we listen to a lot of sports talk, but I absolutely agree with Kevin Wilde's the first things first. We love that show, first of all, but I think the message was to have the players respond, to call them soft and be like, get out there and show us, show the team that the owners and the fans that you're not. And I think they took that message to heart.
I'd love for like Mike McDaniel to do that, like something like that too, like call the Dolphins off, because we are playing. We need to play better, and just like the Patriots, they played better, and be like the Patriots who played better.
Right. Oh, yours is another story that we really didn't get into, but I don't know where Jalen Waddle's been this season, but that's another story.
No, I mean he gets a few. He's been mediocre,
But he's not been what he has been in the last few years.
I mean, well, to be fair, let's not count out anything with the quarterbacks that couldn't get it to him, or Tyreek.
Yeah, we'll see. That definitely felt more like coaching, but there should be a point where he should be coming back here soon. So, like, with his play, he should be answering these questions. So, but with the Patriots, not a whole lot. Ramondre Stevenson ran it in for 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers just doesn't look great, and the team has talent, but there's no coaching, there's no structure, there's no responsibility. I don't feel like there's anybody to hold them accountable. I kept saying last season about the Broncos and their stink, and that was and Sean Payton got rid of their stink, and part of it was what he did to Russell Wilson, and I think he really helped Russell Wilson, even if people don't want to admit it. Like, look at how Russ is kind of coming back. We might talk more about that later, but you can see a different Russell Wilson even last season and current and this season, and it was, and when you're in Pittsburgh, it feels like, I don't want to say, because I don't know, our armed services, but the Steelers feel like it's like hard-nosed, gritty. You're not here to take it easy when you play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I can respect that. And I don't know if it's the best analogy, and if anybody's listening, I love, and you were in the armed services, please let me know if that's something that you think, because I would just like to know personally. But that's and going back to the Sean Payton point, is that he's been, he's holding people accountable. Like, this talent's like, he's getting the best out of this talent that he has. Like, if you can, I think they fired Robert Saleh too soon. I don't think he was the biggest problem. Aaron Rodgers is the biggest problem.
Aaron Rodgers is the biggest problem. You got people like it's like you grabbed people like Alan Lazard and like Devontae Adams and taking away from using your good players because you magically don't have chemistry with them because you decide to do other crap than go to training camp and build chemistry with your teammates.
Yes. There's a lot wrong, and you can see that Robert Saleh is missing on that defense, because if you actually had a decent defense like you did before you fired him, you'd probably be coming together now. And the weirdest thing is that if everything that sounds like it was true, happened because Ulbrich came in and took away play calling from Nathaniel Hackett, which was already the plan. So I don't understand that move, and it all starts with like Woody Johnson. And I don't understand how, like, Johnson & Johnson says they're a successful company, and the Jets,
it's easier.
Curse.
It is easier to run a company than it is to run a football team, especially with how some of these owners are massive success and are not massive success in football.
Right. But that being said, that was. I don't really have anything else to say. Like the Jets, they're talented, but they're bad. There's no chemistry. There's no cohesion.
Yeah, I mean they just have issues. They just have like a laundry list of issues, and we all see it. They have the list is like 3 miles long with that you can see it, but it starts with like Aaron Rodgers. He's not playing as well as they would have liked him to have.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the young Aaron Rodgers anymore, and Robert Saleh made their defense so much better. I mean, they stopped teams from scoring, and now teams are scoring on them. But good for the Patriots. They are doing better. It sucks for Drake May.
At least least I don't want to say like at least it was a concussion. I don't. It's at least it wasn't a long-term injury that could keep him out. I don't even know if it was a concussion for sure. I just know it was a head injury. So I actually haven't heard. I didn't hear anything else about that. So, but I know it wasn't a long-term injury, so at least he has the possibility of.
It's a concussion.
Back. Oh, okay. I didn't care if it was confirmed or not.
Yeah, it says the article say concussions.
Yeah, they said head injury and that he wasn't coming back to the game, so I didn't hear. They never wanted to say like during the game like concussion, at least when I was listening. But onward, the Bills. Oh man, we're not going to talk about every division like this, like in depth and stuff. Just like this one, and I think the West a little bit because there's some big problems like we said with the East, and the West has some right now is pretty mediocre, so it's like anybody's game, so it kind of makes it exciting. But the Bills, I mean, they're 6-2. Everybody else has 6 wins together. Before I just remembered, I just want to say the Jets also should. I don't know. I have no idea if they should ever be allowed to get another rookie quarterback. Because I mean nothing's coming together, so I don't know the long-term thing with that, but that's another thing. Just wanted to throw that in there. The Bills, on the other hand, they are looking Amari Cooper. I don't even know. I need to go take a quick look how
Amari Cooper only had 3 yards this game.
I was gonna say, but
he absolutely helps.
You can see that if he's just on the field, like it gets Khalil Shakir going. It gets
Keon Coleman
going, and it gets Dawson Knox going. Even if they didn't have the greatest games.
Well, they had James Cook going, so that helped.
Yeah, in the run game, yeah. So this feels like I know people like, oh well, they lost to the Bills lost to the Ravens. How can you put the Bills higher? Well, right now the Ravens don't have a defense, and the Bills feel like they're gelling and coming together. I mean, Josh Allen just threw for his first interception, but that was like in the rain. He threw 24 for 34. Like I said,
the problem with the only problem I would say is that the Bills is that the only thing they'd have to the only problem is worrying about the 2 teams they lost to, which are teams they might see in the playoffs. So that is the troublesome thing. Will they get to the playoffs? Pretty much. I don't know. Pretty much, unless I don't know what. Only injury would stop them, and that's about it. And I don't wish that on anyone.
Right. I was gonna say.
Basically, they just like Josh Allen is like one of the top MVP candidates this season.
I was gonna say you told me before we were recording like the other day that the Bills can clinch a playoff spot and win not just clinch a playoff spot, win the division in November.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean they I mean I know they'll still keep playing, but I mean first of all that Texans game you mentioned, 2 of the teams like the Texans, they were close. Josh Allen just didn't have a good game. Can you imagine if they're gelling and he goes in there and has a good game now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he might have still just been out of it after being knocked unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
That waking up after being knocked unconscious might disorient anyone.
I mean, he still only had 9 completions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think a lot of those came. I think a lot of the passes happened to be that was a lot not late into the game, but I want to say midway through. I think somewhere in the third.
Man, it is crazy how because of the Thanksgiving game how different November is for the Dolphins and the Bills. November for the Bills is 3 games because they're bye weeks in November, and the Dolphins have 5 games in November.
That is crazy because especially if they could still clinch it in November, does that mean if the rest of the division loses the next 3 games and they win the rest of the month, that means that they would be at 9-2,
and if everyone else loses 3 games, yeah,
that means that they're what
we're about 2. Miami would be 2-8, and everyone else would be 2-9.
Wow, yeah, they would lose because it would be this weekend. They would they beat you if they win. It's the second game, so yeah, they really could. Wow, that is crazy. Just thinking about right now, wow. And I don't know. I know.
Granted, I don't.
One of the games the Chiefs. Yeah,
So
I
that's
mean,
that,
it's
that
not an
that's what they're
easy
gonna have
game, but
to. Yeah, they have the Dolphin. That's just the Dolphins, the Colts, and the Chiefs. So only one easy game in there since the other news that we'll get into later with the
right.
Colts. But really, I'm not expecting like with the Bills playing the Dolphins in Buffalo. Buffalo has beat us, like destroyed us in Buffalo since the last time we won there was 2016. No, they've like destroyed us ever since. I mean, I think the
So
last
ever since they got Josh Allen, basically.
basically the last couple times we played them competitively in Buffalo, like I think 2022.
Right? Yeah, no, yeah, that was, yeah, I remember.
But we had went Tua played them competitively, and Skylar Thompson played them competitively. We lost both times, but it was still competitive. So I don't. So really, it depends on how healthy our defense is, because
And who wants to come out and play, like.
right? If the Dolphins come out and play, sure. I'm not expecting anything.
Well,
I'm just like I'm just saying we're 2-6 and moving on. Like,
right? Hopefully they don't take. Hopefully the Bills don't think of it as like an easy game, because it could become a trap game. I know you'd like that, but anyway.
I would, but like it's just like Josh Allen is just like really tough right now.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say it's not just Josh Allen. We didn't even get into the score. It was 31-10. Like the Bills were just, they had like 1 sack and an interception, but they were, like, I mean, you're like, you don't need certain stats. You're still like a 21-point victory on the road in Seattle, in that stadium. Like, like that defense. I mean, it's not like they were like Geno Smith wasn't even like missing passes. He was 21 for 29, but it was just like they covered the run.
Yeah, they stopped their run. They stopped their run hard.
Njigba got only 69 yards. They were definitely missing DK Metcalf, and they held Tyler Lockett to like 1 catch.
Yeah, well, DK Metcalf is their number 1 receiver, who, like, is the game changing receiver, who, like, if he was there, like, the run game could have even done better, but without him, they are very not great.
Well, and this is like this Bills team, like the Seattle team looked good last week. Who did they play again last week?
Was it the Falcons?
Yeah, it was the Falcons. And I think the Falcons were on the road. Let me double check.
Yeah, the Seattle was at Atlanta.
Yeah, so just to be able to, like, so Seattle goes into Atlanta and makes them, and Atlanta loses. Meanwhile, Buffalo comes into their house and just like decimates them. Like, I know it's like an any given Sunday thing, but like that was just
Seattle
crazy. In my opinion, like, it was just like total decimation. Like, the fact that they scored 10 is amazing with how with how the dominant the Bills looked throughout that game.
To be fair, Seattle's only won two home games this season.
Yes, the Broncos
and the Dolphins were the only ones that lost to them at home. Everyone else, they lost to the Giants, the 49ers, and the Bills at home.
I mean, if we could have a rematch, I don't know about you. I definitely think we could.
I think if we had a rematch now with Tua healthy, I think we'd at least have more competitiveness.
Yeah, well, yours was such a stinker. Anyways, I'm good with the Bills. Like, I just wanted to, like, I'm really liking them. I hope I'm not jumping on the I don't, it's too soon to dethrone the Chiefs. That's all I'm gonna say. Even if I think that, and we'll talk about the Chiefs a little later, but they're probably, I think they're my second team right now in the AFC.
Right, it doesn't go through, like, basically it does not go through the Bills, it goes through the Chiefs. Till anyone beats the Chiefs till you beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, they are the wall in the way.
Mm-hmm. So you gotta become a wrecking ball.
They are the champions right now.
You gotta be the wrecking ball.
Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know and I don't know how this will affect the Seahawks, but they're all like, neck and neck.
Right. So now I think we can talk about the NFC West. And I have on here, my question is, are the Rams back with their wide receivers return? And I'm just going to throw out let's talk about, like, we already talked about the Cardinals, but I think they're back. I didn't realize that Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were going to both be playing on the Thursday night game. I just want to get this out of the way really quick. The Vikings definitely got screwed. At the end there, I do not know how you miss a face mask like that. They weren't the only team that got screwed by the refs, but
they got screwed there.
But we'll see if this was just one of those, for both teams, short weeks. If that makes a difference, and we'll see how they play on Sunday.
I think the Rams with the Rams having Puka and Cooper back, that helps immensely. Now people it helped make people like Demarcus Robinson, who
2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he looked great because he's like the number 3 receiver, so he's getting the weaker coverages, and also their defense looked better than it did before.
Right.
Jared Verse is
coming together. Yeah, I'll be honest. For me, Matt Stafford had 4 touchdowns, missed 9 passes, and 1 interception. But for me, the question is, or the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
With the way that with the 49ers being hurt, I'm not sure if they're going to even make it to the playoffs. The Cardinals, like I said, they're scrappy. I think that they're going to be the biggest competition, and Seattle's just I don't know if they're coming or going. Like I said,
well, we'll see.
Atlanta 1 week, Buffalo the other. I know Buffalo's a better team than Atlanta, but Atlanta's got defensive pieces. They got offensive pieces. You can't tell me that there's not a lot of talent and stuff on Atlanta, where Buffalo, it's just so it's mind-boggling when Seattle travels on the road to Atlanta and then loses at home. So
yeah, we'll see with what the Seahawks are and the Rams are, because they play this week.
Oh, good.
And they play Seattle's at home, so we'll see if that helps or hurts them.
Right. I mean, it's a division rivalry.
Yeah, right. Division rivalry games always throw teams for a loop.
Right. I mean, I know you're counting your Dolphins out, but it is a rivalry game.
I'm only counting them out because of history.
Yes.
If anything, my expectations are non-existent. They are negative if they could be. If anything, if the opposite should happen, then we'll see. We'll see.
As far as, but yeah, they got a run game. Kyren Williams looks great.
Mm-hmm.
So all these pieces are just coming together. When you've got Kupp and Puka Nacua, and everything. Everybody can catch the ball. That's it helps. So it's right now, pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'll be honest, beginning of the season, and this was only a couple of weeks ago, when the Rams looked 1-4, now they're 3-4. And this also has to do with, I think, the Buccaneers getting hurt. There might be a chance that 2 teams in the West get in, but I'm not holding my breath with the way that NFC North looks, and there are 2 good teams right now in the NFC East with winning records.
Yeah. I don't think. I think because it really depends on with how the Bears are. I think the entire NFC North getting in is a fever dream now. But I think we might get 2. We'll at least get 2. I think a minimum of 2 is going to happen. I think maybe 3 if Minnesota gets back into it.
Well, they're still in it right now,
yeah.
But they just can't,
take losses.
Yeah, they can't deflate and
I mean, yes, Darisaw was hurt during this game, and I think that really affected them for the rest of the game.
Right, and I know I mentioned it, but we were going to talk about the trades, but they traded for Cam Robinson, and I think that was a great trade, and that also speaks a lot about the Jaguars too, so they might be selling off some pieces.
Yeah, the Jaguars definitely feel like sellers, and it sucks that they lost. It sucks. I know. I think Christian Kirk got hurt too for the Jaguars.
Right, and Gabe Davis is out. Well, I think for another week or 2. I don't think he got hurt, but it wasn't as. I think. Oh no, it was Brian Thomas Jr. They both got hurt.
They lost a lot of wide receivers.
They're not out for the whole season, but
yeah, wide receivers are really dropping this season
right now. Yeah. But let's see. There were so many good topics and good. I just want to throw this one out there, talk about these next couple games. The Browns won 29-24 against the Ravens. the Ravens defense feels like non-existent. I'm really interested to see how this Broncos game goes with the Ravens.
We'll have to see, because I know it felt non-existent, but it was a rivalry game, so
right. Well, no, it's not just from the rivalry game.
Mhm.
It's been other games too that they've been having troubles with. So I just want to say Jameis Winston should have been the starting quarterback for a while now. Say what you will about Deshaun Watson, but I know it took an injury to get Jameis Winston in, but Jameis Winston
took a couple injuries for that, but yeah,
he should be the starter. He should have been the starter for a while, and he looked pretty good. Like, there were a few. Kyle Hamilton missed a game-sealing interception at the end there, but. And that's really all I want to say about the Browns. Like, I hope they.
I'm just happy Jameis Winston's in for them and that they're doing better.
Right. I still don't know how great that team is, but we'll see what happens. It's really going to be the off season that I'm interested in with the Browns. The other team other game I wanted. This one's kind of important on both sides. We'll see what the Ravens are, but the Eagles and the Bengals, and I want to give the Eagles feel like they're coming together. I am kind of tired of the tush push. Like, that's
it's overdone, and like it works, but
just try, like, I know I speak from fantasy points to a degree on here, but can you let Saquon try and run it a couple times? I mean, I don't know how safe it is for Jalen Hurts if he gets hurt doing that. I don't know what happens from there. But that stuff aside, they look like they're playing like a competent team, and as a competent team, and they have competent coaching. There's not a spectacle on the sideline, which I don't know who the heck talked to Nick Sirianni, but it's worked for like 2 weeks after that Browns game, and I feel that it really it shut him up. It sparked the rest of the team. Maybe the team talked to him,
right?
But it's like it's gonna be. I can't wait for the Commanders and the Eagles. I'm not completely sold on the Eagles yet. I need to see how they keep going. They play the Jags this week. I need to see them play some actual
better teams
because I forget who they play. Like, they beat the Browns.
They beat the Falcons.
Just in a few weeks. The Browns, like, after their bye, I think it was like the Browns, the Giants
and the
Bengals, and they're gonna play the Jags this week.
Yeah, so what was it? The Bengals are like 0-3 at home.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't change. That didn't change. So you really had like the advantage. And the other games the other teams they won were just New Orleans and Green Bay because of the field, and Green Bay in week 1 because of the field being weird.
And I think there was some. So who else do the Eagles play? Like, I know they play the Commanders, which are right now the only real team I can think of that
they're going. So the next 2 games are probably on the lighter side because they're Jacksonville and Dallas.
Okay, well, Dallas
is in between because the rivalry.
Count that out.
Then they play 3 tougher teams.
Okay.
Of the Commanders, the Rams, and the Ravens.
Okay, so that stretch of games, do they play them back to back to back?
Those are 3 games, yeah.
Okay, if you throw in the Cowboys just from being a divisional game, that stretch of 4, but really 3, I'm excited to see where they are. That's when I will know if they can make a deep run or not. Because they have the talent. They have the players that can do it.
So within that stretch, they have 1 easy game, and they have 2 more difficult games after that.
Okay.
After the Ravens, they have the Panthers, but then they have the Steelers and the Commanders again.
That's going to be an interesting... That out of those 6 weeks, 5 of those 6 weeks are going to tell a lot right there.
And then they end with we'll see what they are against the Cowboys and Giants.
Yeah, I'm not. They could already have a playoff spot by then if they win. If they win all those games, I'm definitely trusting them. We'll see. But
right, we just need to see them against tougher teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they were magically one of the teams that the Buccaneers beat. Buccaneers beat them, so.
Right, but the Buccaneers, when they beat them, the Bucs were looking good. So
yeah, they did look good.
I mean, the wide receivers are important, but on the other hand, the other side of that game was the Eagles won 37-17. The Bengals, I don't know what's happening in the defense. T. Higgins, I get it. They're cheap, and I hope that you guys let Joe Burrow go somewhere else because like at some point, just you're gonna waste his prime, and he's gonna probably turn out like a Matt Stafford in the next few years, where he'll find a second home and he can win a Super Bowl. But if they're that damn cheap to not be able to get some extra talent and sign T. Higgins, because it's not like the Dolphins didn't sign their quarterback and 2 top wide receivers and still have some talent and stuff around. So if they can do it, and yes, I know they're losing, but you're losing with what you got right now too. So
yeah, we were losing.
Spend some money, Cincinnati.
Yeah, we were losing because we didn't have a quarterback for some of those games. You're losing even with your quarterback. So
right, and you have some good defensive pieces like Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, I think so.
I wanted to say Henderson,
right?
Hendrickson.
They have not. So the only games they've won were some of the bottom of the barrel teams of
the
Panthers, Giants, and Cleveland, and they were all not at home. They were all on the road because they have not won because they cannot win at home.
So here's the interesting thing: they play one of the worst teams in the Raiders, but in Cincinnati.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. Because as much as I like Cincinnati, and I do not want the Raiders to win because they're my division rival, there's definitely a chance with the Raiders.
Well, they have to figure it out because they only have 5 more road games. They only have 5 more road games left on their schedule. So that does not equal winning if they can't win the home games.
Right. They got to win one here. Oh man, there are some games we haven't really talked about. I mean, not that there really is a reason to talk about some of them.
Just blow through the easy ones.
Right, I'll just give you the score. The Packers beat the Jaguars. There was an injury to Jordan Love, but the Packers won 30-27. Last second field goal. I think the Packers need to get a little bit better so that they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, their defense was not doing as good against the Jaguars. Like the Jaguars, only winning by a field goal against the Jaguars is concerning.
Right? I mean, but the Jaguars have had some close games, I think,
this
season. So. But the Packers need to get better, or I think Minnesota will be able to. I think Minnesota could keep that wild card spot, or even win. I don't think they're going to win the division. With what else? But that's that game.
And I think Jaguars took a few injuries that game too.
Yeah. Falcons won 31-26 against the Buccaneers, and we've talked about it before. I mean, Kirk Cousins went 23 for 29, 276 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I do not know what happened to this Buccaneers defense. I know Levante Davis got hurt, or Levante David, right?
Yeah.
I knew it when I said I was one of those ones where I said it and I'm like it came out wrong, and I know it's like nope, it's wrong instantly. Levante David, I believe got hurt, and it just, but besides that, I don't know, I know it's not like the Bucks didn't score, they got 26, so it's like,
Baker is still like a gunslinger here, and he's forcing, he's keeping them in games, but they're just like, the defense needs to play better.
Right. Well, I mean, the 2 interceptions hurt, but when you're throwing 37 for 50 and, keeping the team in the game and having 3 touchdowns without great wide receiver play, it hurts. So
amazing that he threw for 330 yards with their top 2 receivers gone.
Right.
But they need to just try to rely on the run game a little more.
Right.
And with Todd Bowles being when your defense is not doing good and you're a defensive head coach, that's always a problem. Your defense is your bread and butter, and you should be spreading that butter.
Right.
You shouldn't be giving up so many points, and
it's like they're dry toast right now. Which, I mean, it's good when your stomach's upset,
but no, they are causing upset stomachs.
Yeah. What other games? Not a lot to talk about. Chargers won 26-8 against the Saints. Lad McConkey came to play.
And one of the wide receivers had to come to play for the Chargers.
There was a weird sequence with Justin Herbert, his leg, and Saints player, and then the offensive tackle, pinning him down. I get it, shove him off, but man, that offensive tackle threw some punches. There was a lot of I haven't heard anything. I'm surprised neither of the. I'm sure they've gotten fined. I'm surprised neither of them didn't maybe get a suspension for the game, but for a game. game, but you know what? Just find them largely, and that's really all. That was really the only things that really came out of that game. Might as well talk about my game while we're at it. Broncos won 28-14. Bo threw for 3 touchdowns, ran one in. We looked good. I know our team was upset. I know their team was upset because they thought we were trying to run up the score. I mean, you got to play defense. It's not like we lost 70-20 last year. We couldn't play defense, so
it's not running up the score if you can't stop them. If you're just completing plays and if you're just playing well, then that's on your defense crapping out.
And I'm sorry, but like sometimes 3-score games are easy to come back to. I mean, if you can play as a team, play a game, because some teams have done that and gotten it close, like the Cowboys against the Ravens, the Buccaneers against the Ravens. This comes back to the Ravens defense that I was talking about.
Yeah, I saw the Ravens schedule, like look back at all their old games. Yeah, their defense only played well against the Bills.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are the
I was gonna say with the Broncos, Cortland Sutton got 100 yards and completed a pass. So did Riley Dixon. But yeah, no, it felt better. Like Bo Dix is really coming together. Adam Troutman, like everybody, we're spreading the ball around. Like that's what I like to see. Other than that, and the defense, Nick Benito, 6 straight games with a sack. I mean, that is we're in tying Von Miller records right now. We're getting up there. Like I think he's tied. It's going to be interesting to see if he can. I hope he can extend that streak, but it's going to be a hard game against Lamar next week. But and the only thing to really say with the Panthers, I hope Andy Dalton's doing better after that car accident. He sprained his throwing thumb during it, and it was like I'm glad he's okay and the family's okay. Bryce Young came in with I mean, you have to play against like PS2, and like he had an interception, and Jaquan McMillan also got an interception, and it's just it's tough against that Denver defense. But I thought Bryce Young was doing all right, 24 for 37. Like he looked like that first drive, like he looked pretty confident. So it was good to see. So like I'm hoping I'd like to see Bryce Young continue maybe to ride the bench and let him learn behind Andy Dalton a little bit more.
Right. I think a lot of these quarterbacks that have been benched, like a lot of them have been, they just aren't ready for prime time, and like there is an impatience problem in the NFL. It's like you need to win now. And not every quarterback can win now, and you like absolutely should not start. I think Drake May benefited a lot from not coming in.
Right.
I think you just have to learn more, and like some of these quarterbacks might be better on their next team. Bryce Young might be better on his next team if they don't decide to keep him.
Right. I mean, look at Malik Willis, but that's also a lot of coaching. Sometimes like Matt LaFleur feels like that feels a bit like Sean McVay, Sean Payton, and a little bit like Sean McVay. Like I think I want, like there's like the both of them. Like you can win, you can get the best out of a quarterback. I think. Kind of want to talk about those two teams last. So I didn't really watch we didn't really watch the Giants Steelers game. Steelers won 26-18. It was a field goal fest in the first half. I don't know how roughing the kicker didn't get called on that punt return touchdown. It was a great punt return touchdown, but it was absolutely a penalty on the on the punter, and like the punter didn't get to land safely at all. Should have been a flag. I don't understand how it was a legal formation. That was it. Like but that was all I really remember from the game. Like Russell Wilson played good. What was his name? Tracy?
Oh, what? Tracy Turner, I think, or the running back?
Yeah.
Tyrone Tracy
Jr. Yeah. He had he had a great touchdown. Loved watching that one. But that was about it for that game.
I don't know if you saw there was just one weird ass thing in the game that needed I saw that they ran a weird play at the near the end zone or something where like half the team was like a small like, you know, a small amount of people were on one side. There was like a small amount of people on one side. Like half the offensive line was split.
Oh, I think I saw a picture of that. I didn't really see the whole play.
Yeah,
Was it as bad as it sounds?
Yeah, they like threw it. Daniel Jones threw it as quick to the receiver, who got hit as quick as the ball who just got hit right after he got it. It was not a good play. I don't know what it was supposed to be.
Like that one weird Colts one.
Mm-hmm. It was like it was. I mean, it was pretty close to as bad as Zeke being center.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. I'm like, I don't know what's I mean, I'm all for trying unique combinations for offensive linemen, but that's not one of them.
Right. As far as the other Sunday night game, because this one didn't really matter in the for our San Francisco won. Like the Cowboys tried to make a comeback. I mean, the 49ers won 30-24. Brock Purdy looked fine. He didn't turn over the ball. They ran the ball. He ran. Brock Purdy could run. Like he looked shifty and good. Like he was doing some stuff. It was good to watch.
Yeah, the only thing at the end was
your fantasy
Dak.
game.
Yeah, Dak throwing to CeeDee Lamb and killing my fantasy game. I died.
I said CeeDee Lamb put the nail in the coffin, and then another nail, and then
I died on because we play in a PPR league. I died by the reception, and then buried by the touchdown, and then put the dirt over on the second touchdown.
Yep. But no, Brock Purdy. Did they win? Yes. George Kittle, like National Tight Ends Day, like amazing tight ends. Like everybody, almost every team I think had a tight end. Every game I think had a tight end that scored. There were at least like 14 or 15 by
there was a lot of them.
There were a lot. Like the Broncos had two, so the two different ones. So, but Dak, that team is just a mess. I don't know what to say about it. Like 2 touchdowns, 2 early interceptions. There's no run game. CeeDee Lamb looks great, but I think CeeDee Lamb could catch the ball from anybody and look great right now.
Right.
I mean, I'd love to trade for him. I wish we drafted him.
Right. But, I feel Dallas has a lot of problems, and I think I think, like everyone says, it starts with the GM, who is the owner.
Right. So the Cowboys are just, they're flailing along. They're not the worst team. They're definitely not a good team. They're right where they are, and they'll probably get I wouldn't be surprised if they get like the 16th draft pick, or like maybe from like 10 to 16. I wouldn't be surprised. Like playoff or 18 maybe, but I don't see them making like a playoff spot here. You
right? They have a few more favorable games like later in the season, but we'll see if that helps.
Right? Like I picked them for the playoffs. I didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl, but I was like, they were coming off a 12-5 season. They always look good in the regular season. Then they get destroyed in the postseason. But I didn't expect them to be like this bad, especially when I know they all joked about being all in, but I don't think they lost too many pieces. But
I know Mike.
I think Dan Quinn was an important piece to that.
Dan Quinn was an important piece. I think Micah's been hurt lately.
Micah and Dexter Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence is.
Yeah.
They wish they had.
DeMarcus Lawrence is good too. So
I'm just saying they had him on top of everything.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I meant by that.
They wouldn't have been able to pay him with every.
So they should be. I mean, they have the Jerry probably has the money for it, just doesn't want to spend it.
True. I honestly, I think that Trey Lance trade, and with how bad he played in the preseason, I think forced Jerry to pay Dak.
Pretty much.
And I think I don't know if. I like Dak. I don't think he was $60 million. That I didn't like him for $60 million. Not with the rest of this team, where I think I would have. I mean, you drafted him in the 4th round, and you had Tony Romo before that. Like if you just do some scouting and actually look and stuff, maybe you'd get another decent quarterback or good quarterback and stuff. Not right, or bring somebody in, because there are some people that probably would come in.
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I wouldn't. We won't get it, but man, there's a show about Aaron Rodgers and Jerry Jones that would have filled up the media, because I mean it's Aaron Rodgers and the Cowboys, so they fill up our media anyways. But it would have been consolidated into one topic that I would have enjoyed.
It would have been
because it
nicer.
would have just been one topic instead of two.
Right. I don't know if it would happen. It's like because Aaron versus Aaron's ego versus Jerry's ego.
Right.
I don't think Jerry would do all the things Aaron would want him to do.
Right. Mm-hmm. And is there anything else we want to talk about? I had one more thing, but it was
on this game?
Yeah, I would.
No, I think the 49ers are just, I don't know what the 49ers are besides injured, but good for them winning.
Right. And I just wanted to send condolences to Travarius Ward.
Yes.
I don't know.
I saw that, yeah.
Him and his wife lost their young daughter she was just one, and it's very sad. And when we made the comments about the fantasy stuff, that was the day before we found out about what happened, and it's just heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
So all the best, Travarius Ward, and I hope, I'm sure your teammates will be there for you. I hope you lean on them, and all the best to you and your family. Now into now, I believe to finish this up, the last topic I had with the last games that we didn't talk about, the Chiefs won 27-20 against the Raiders. Patrick Mahomes threw an interception that I knew the defender wanted to get in because he knew that they weren't going to be able to score a touchdown, and they didn't score a touchdown. Patrick at least threw for 2 touchdowns. Kelsey got 1, and it was still a close game. And like that's the thing. It's like, yes, I know they're 7-0, and this is where and we'll get into it because I'm gonna get a question. They're 7-0, but I feel like there are questions. Whereas in the other game that we didn't talk about, the Lions won 52-14. There was some back and forth that didn't look great for the Lions, and then they came alive. And everything just kind of came back around and just was all Lions from that point on.
Man, Jared Goff only missed 3 passes. He's completing so many damn passes this season, and I know it was only 85 yards, but the entire team was kicking ass.
He went 12 for 15, 85 yards for 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. I mean, Gibbs ran one in, Montgomery ran one in. I don't know, Khalif Raymond ran one in on a punt return. And
he did catch a touchdown.
And caught a touchdown.
Both tight ends, Laporta and Brock Wright, made touchdowns.
So, see, that was another 2 for the National Tight Ends Day. So, they were just phenomenal. I mean, yeah, it's the tight ends, but can we, and yes, I know it's a rivalry game, and they were playing in Vegas, but... this is why I asked, and for me, who's the best team, in the NFL, Detroit or Kansas City? And for everything, I don't want to disrespect the Chiefs because it just feels like with them being 7-0, the Chiefs, record-wise right now are the best team, but the Lions look like they are the best team.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I want to phrase that. One looks like the best team, one is the best team because they have the best record. And
right, Patrick Mahomes, look, he had a bit of a better game.
He did. How many yards did he throw for 200?
Yeah, 260.
And then 2 touchdowns and then 1 interception. And yes, they're doing it without I don't know what was his completion to attempts.
He was 27 for 38.
So that seems a bit better too. But it's just how a couple years ago, basically everything but this year and last year, where the Chiefs were just throwing the ball around, and you were saying all of this whimsical, fun plays. I feel like that's what the Lions have done this season.
Mm-hmm.
And they are improving. And if we get this as a Super Bowl, I really don't know what's going to happen because that's the only time that they'll play,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I don't think that.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Because I was we don't play any NFC North teams, so why would they?
No, the only exciting game they're gonna they're gonna have a few exciting AFC teams, but they play the Texans and the Bills.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Oh, I meant the Lions.
Oh, okay.
Let me check the Chiefs schedule.
The Chiefs play both of them too, so
that they do. They both.
Yeah, but they don't play each other. So.
Yeah, they do.
Because I was just think it's like I don't know, like who was the last place team last year? Chicago. And we don't play Chicago. Or was it Minnesota? We don't play Minnesota either. So
Yeah, I know that's like Miami plays Green Bay, so that's why they play Detroit.
Yeah, we were the third place team. They were the Bears were the third place team, so we don't play them. So, but besides all that, like I'm just loving right now. I hope that they make a trade for somebody to fill in for Aiden Hutchinson. Hutch is going to be missed. He's not missed right now, but he will be. I don't know if.
Yeah. Their pass rush is missing something, but I mean they did stop Tennessee.
Yeah.
Who, not doing this, I can't even do my mailman stuff with him not playing well, and I can't.
Mason Rudolph played that game.
Yeah, I know. Because he's not playing, because Will Levis didn't play well or is injured, whatever. I've lost my entire shtick here,
right?
And and being the only team that couldn't beat the Titans also sucks.
It does. But
goodness, we don't play the Panthers.
Right? Yeah, that could have gone either way.
Well, thank goodness we didn't play the Panthers earlier.
I was going to say, without Tua, it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
With Tua, it should go your way.
Yeah.
But Andy Dalton sometimes.
It depended on who was quarterbacking for both teams at the time.
True. What are your thoughts on the Chiefs and the?
Well, I'm not denying the Chiefs. I'm not denying the Chiefs anything. I mean, I mean, they are injured, and Kareem Hunt's doing good, but they Isaiah Pacheco was better. Losing Rashee Rice hurts. We'll see. It remains to be seen how good DeAndre Hopkins is. I think, but yeah, no, just how with the completion percentage of Jared Goff, the completions that he's made, the run game, the special teams game, the Lions are like an unstoppable force right now. I know they lost one game, but the Lions are.
It was a fluky game to the Buccaneers. When you look at that game and stuff,
right. I think some losses like that help.
Yes.
Some losses like that are beneficial, and I feel that was beneficial for them. I don't know about the Chiefs.
I feel like they have their three phases of the game really make a difference. It's because I know it's Patrick Mahomes, but sometimes it's just you can to be fair, do they deserve the benefit of the doubt? Yes, but when you're not seeing the same Patrick Mahomes and not even and seeing certain things it looks different than how it did last year. The wide receivers were missing, and Patrick Mahomes was doing, and same thing with Travis Kelce. We're making up for that. I think this was Patrick Mahomes' best game since week 1 or 2, probably week 1. So I just want to see, I'm not counting anybody out, but we'll see how they will have to, do they feel a little vulnerable? Yes, but they still won last year, so I don't know what to think. Anything else with that? Because I did forget a game.
What game? I'm kind of good on those on the Chiefs.
I'm loving the Lions,
and the Lions are fantastic.
Yeah, so. But I feel like this is a bad shot at the topic, but I'm getting a little tired. So maybe that's why I forgot that the Texans won the game 23-20 against the Colts. Anthony Richardson also got tired during that game and tapped his helmet to tap out. And
he also completed 10 passes this week too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I looked that up earlier. So 2 weeks in a row, completed 10 passes, threw it more times this week, and lost the game. And I mean, there's questions about the Texans when you win 23-20. Unfortunately, they lost Stephon Diggs. I think Mechie and Tank Dell will make up for will do fine in Nico Collins' absence until he returns.
Right. They also have
Mixon is a key piece to that offense.
They also have what was it? They Dalton Schultz will help them.
Is he out?
He'll help as a tight end for the Texans.
Right, but is he out or just in general?
In general, I'm saying he'll help, and Robert Wood. They still have Robert Woods. So
no, the way who I was saying was out and stuff. I didn't realize he.
No, I was saying that people who would help. Why? Because Diggs is out. Yeah.
No, it sounded different when you were maybe I had missed somebody. But yeah, the Texans still looking strong. They don't feel like the same team from last year, but I also felt that way when Stephon Diggs was I never like seeing injuries, but I wasn't quite sure if the offense was going to be the same with Stephon Diggs. We're going to see if how it is when Nico Collins comes back.
They are severe. They are missing Nico Collins. I think they are a better team with him.
So I'm not too worried. I know some people might be. I'm not too worried without Stephon Diggs.
I think the Colts are going to be I think
because
the Colts are going to be.
It was like Buffalo, like last season. I think that they did better when Stephon Diggs wasn't the focus.
Yeah, I think that's why they got rid of him.
Yes.
I think Diggs needs to be humbled and not be all about him. But yeah, I think they'll just try to run the ball more and not make it all reliant on CJ.
Yep. Now,
I think the Colts will be better since.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Joe Flacco is going to be starting.
Yeah, because Anthony Richardson is benched, and you have to ask, is it because of the 10 completions or is it because of the tired? And I think it's an and. I think it's and. I think that if he could maybe develop, sometimes you need to sit back and watch the game, and I think that he can do that and learn because he didn't have he didn't have as many starts in college.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you know.
Everyone knew he was a project. I know he got hurt. I know he got hurt last season.
Same thing with Malik Willis. So why not let him sit, let him learn behind Joe Flacco, let Joe Flacco see, show him stuff by doing it on the field. And I just think that's that might be what happens. And if it will be telling if it's an or thing, and if it was just a tired thing, if this was just like a way of saying like no, you put the team in a bad spot, we can't have you doing that. Like you have, like you're QB2 this week. Like if the team got upset with him and stuff like that. I don't know if they did or not, because I just don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see where it goes. I think it'll be better. I think Flacco will get the ball moving. I know it was good to see Jonathan Taylor back, and he helped, but Anthony Richardson just needs time to learn, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't. Anything else that we want to talk about? I know it's kind of being facetious about being tired, but I'm quite okay if we wanted to wrap things up.
Last thing I just wanted to mention, I mean, going back to the Dolphins or whatever, I looked at Jalen Waddle's stats. I mean, yes, he needs to be involved more, but I think everyone does. I mean, he hasn't had a 100-yard game since the first one and stuff, but I know a lot of people, there are other players that need to be involved more.
Yeah. We'll definitely, we've had quite a sports week, trying to watch some basketball. This World Series has been amazing, and we'll do a podcast on that when it's over. But it's like we only got a few more days of this where we got the mecca of the perfect sports time of year, where you got football, basketball, NHL all in their regular season. You got postseason World Series going on. I mean, we just got off the WNBA, so it's it's been quite a good time to be feeding if you're a sports fan. So.
Yep.
All right. I think we're good here.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. Please like, share, subscribe. Give us any feedback. We've been enjoying this new formula that we've been doing, format, whatever you want to call it. Might have gone a little long, covered all the games, but I think it's been a little more fun, and we hope you're enjoying this as much as we are. So for the Goose, I'm Bossa Nova Jones. This is Generic Sports Podcast. See you here next time. Thank you for joining us. Bye.